PMN family, how have you guys been? Welcome to Paris Mueni Networks. My name is Paris Mueni. I hope you've been good. So in this channel, we get to have a chit chat about the issues affecting our society. You know, the things that the mainstream media won't talk about? Exactly. Be it the conspiracy theories about the government, about the world, about the entertainment industry, name it all. Now, mainly we focus on single parenting and parenting at large, be it single mothers, be it single fathers, and so forth and so forth. So welcome to PMN. So for those who are new here, PMN stands for Paris Mueni Networks. So welcome to PMN, where we'll get to educate you, enlighten you, entertain you, and get to have the intriguing conversations that affect our today's society together. So let's dive deeper. So today we are talking about fatherhood. We had done a bit about this in our previous episode. Please go and watch it out for you to understand the continuation of what we are doing today. So we had touched a little bit about fathers, who are our fathers, like what is fatherhood, and a little bit about the types of fathers that we have in the society. So today we get to dissect them. Now, can we talk about the elephant in the room? And one thing that has been causing drama left, right, and center. Drum rolls. Deadbeats. you know, there's a local radio station in our country that does a segment about deadbeats. Yeah, that I won't mention. They have not paid me. So, who are deadbeats? So deadbeats are these people, men, you know, the deadbeat fathers who enjoy the intimacy with the woman and their partners, but they don't want to take responsibility of the outcome, which is the child. So they'll have intimacy with the woman, she gets pregnant, and they're gone, just like that. So let's dig deeper, because again, it's kind of becoming the new normal. And you know, you get to see that it's becoming a crisis when Kenya gets to be the leading country in Africa with the highest number of single mothers. So that raises a question: what is happening? Because I mean, the mother didn't get pregnant with Angel Gabriel, did she? Right? And I, by the way, celebrate them, those who choose to keep the pregnancy. Kudos. So now let's talk about the deadbeats. You know, in this issue of deadbeats, some of them are very fierce. Like, one knows completely that's my child. But now for you to get that person to even take responsibility of their own blood and flesh, it's World War III. That person will have to go to court. You will use every other means you know to get them. But guess what? They will do a lot of nothing. And some of them, if they do, it's drama after drama after drama. Like, they will just serve you drama. Before you heal from that drama, another one. You get. And then, still speaking about the deadbeats. Now there are these who wait. You know, they know they have a kid somewhere. Completely, they know. This is my flesh and blood. They know. And then they wait and wait and wait. You grow up, you suffer with your mother, you suffer like you know, you go up and down everywhere trying to figure out life. And now for some weird reason, they'll come back when they're sick. I know of someone whose father, the deadbeat now, was never present. And not that he didn't know that he has a child, he knew. And now when he got sick, let's name the disease X, cancer. Now he was admitted in the hospital on his deathbed, he now wants to meet his daughter. Guess what? The daughter has to pay bills. I mean, he's your father. But again, you get stuck. Do I pay the bills? First of all, this guy knew I was alive. He knew. He saw me suffer with my mother. He was not blind. He knew. And he did nothing. Now you're again wondering, what do I do? Now there are others who come when now the situation has gotten worse. For instance, your mother is late. And now they show up after your mother is gone. And they're like, they want to have a relationship with you. So you're wondering, this son of Pharaoh knew I was alive. He knew, he saw me suffer, literally. But now you're back and you want me to have a relationship with you? Again, in the same issue, there are others who are denied the chance to meet their kids. Now that's different. Because you're not deadbeat because you want to be, but you're deadbeat because you have no option. And for real, you've tried. So you have to wait until your kid is 18 to make a choice whether he or she wants to be in your life or not. Now, speaking of the same deadbeat fathers, there are those who will exploit you. They'll wait for you to get at the top. You suffer, you go to school, you suffer. Then when you get at the top, now they'll start coming back. I'm your father. I need money for this. I'm your father. I need money for this. And if you're an African like I am, we are taught that you will get cursed. Of course, even the Bible curses are there. So, and your parents can curse you. So biologically, this is your father. You're worried. He might curse me. So what should I do? Do I help him? Do I not? But again, this man left you in a desert without water. He knew that you were born. He knew. And he knows. Like, he doesn't even need to do a DNA. It's kind of like his carbon copy. You get. And then there are those who, like, you do some, you get into one thing leading to another, and and the lady gets pregnant and she doesn't tell you. So like 20 years down the line, you come to find out you had a daughter or a son somewhere. And now you have a 20-year-old daughter or a 20 or a 25-year-old or an 18 or even 10-year-old son or daughter that you didn't even know existed. Probably you've moved on, you've married, because the relationship maybe with the lady didn't work out, and then you now have kids. So now you're like, what do I do? Word has it that when life leaves a man, they know. So if a man gets intimate with a woman, and if a man gets intimate with a woman and he gets her pregnant, literally he knows. Like when life leaves him, he knows. So even this whatever deadbeat sons of Pharaoh, they know what they do. They literally know. Anyway, sorry for the sons of Pharaoh, but not sorry. So let's proceed to the effects that the deadbeat daddy, the deadbeat whatever father thingy does to the kids. One, it affects their communication and their confidence. Remember, you've not grown up with a guy, not just a guy, but a father validating you. It's different when your father validates you with any other person validating you in the world. And then even the way you communicate, you won't even have that confidence like any other person. Like the way, you can tell when you see, let's just take 4 ladies. 2 ladies who have grown up in a family that has a father and one in a family that has no father. You can literally tell. The way they show up to, like out there in the world, it's completely different. Even for men, just look at just look at 2 guys. One has grown up with a father who is present. You can have a father who is not even present, right? A father who is present, and the other one has grown up with a deadbeat dad. Even their mindsets, even the way they think, the way they view life, the way they see things is completely different. You understand? So number 2, there's this aspect of You've seen your mother fight from grass to grace. You've seen her rise up, like from nothing to becoming a woman of value, right? Without your father. And that does something to you, consciously or subconsciously, whether you like it or not. Because at some point you've seen your mother without a man. You've seen her raise you. Probably, let's take an example where there are other kids as well, maybe 2-3 kids in the same household. You've seen your mother take you to school, feed you, provide, do literally every other thing without a man present, without your father. So to some extent, that does something to you. And you will be like, I don't even need a man. What do I even need the man for? You get my point. And on the flip side, that might cause you to have this hunger to have success, to become successful. Like you will push every stone on your way until you climb that ladder and become a woman of substance in the society. Because you've seen your mother, you've seen your mother from grass to grace. You've seen her fight. So to some extent, that will push you to fight. Again, you see the way we have the increased rate of single moms as well. It's because you've seen your mother grow up without a man. Like not just grow up, but raise you without a man. So in your head, you're like, what do I even need a man for? Again, there are those mothers who will intoxicate your mind. The mothers that will tell you men are dogs, men are useless, men are stupid, men are foolish, men are whatever thing they'll tell you. And again, you have all the rights to believe that because your own father has not taken any responsibility in even raising you at all. So what does that mean? Subconsciously, you will start having this mindset that, by the way, all men are dogs. So no matter what comes your way, you won't mind. You don't even want that man. You're like, what do I even need a man for? Again, there are those people who will get into relationships or marriages with a 50-50 mindset. They're like, bro, if you leave, I'm good. Manze, I've seen my mother fight. I've seen my mother do things that even you as a man, you can't do. Like you're a man, but you can't handle half of what I've seen my mother do. So even that woman, you can tell her nothing. Like literally. And even when she gets into that relationship, she's 50-50. She's like, whether it works or not, at the end of the day, I'm good. And then there are those who will now want a difference. Like they will want a change. They'll be like, no, I've seen my mother be without a man. I want to try and see how is life with a man. How is life in marriage? And now this makes me question, by the way, is marriage a scam? We are, in this generation that we are, especially the Gen Zs, every single day, with the stories that are hitting the headlines and the things that we have seen in our own homes, it's kind of like every single voice in the street is screaming at you, telling you marriage is a scam. And we are having a very huge number of young people who want nothing to do with marriage. They are okay with having kids, maybe 1 or 2 at most, that they can provide for. But marriage and whatever, they don't really care. So, do you think that this deadbeat issue is something that is going to end anytime soon? Because let me tell you for real, it's becoming a global crisis. The rate at which we have single moms and absent fathers and deadbeat fathers who for some weird reason are walking on this earth confidently, knowing they have a child somewhere. And it's not because the mother said no. And it's not because they don't have access to that kid, but they just choose to be selfish and not provide. So in our video that we've done, it's titled, Are We Saying Goodbye to the Pain of Childbirth? This will make you understand the entire thing that we've just said. Now, this is an entire dysfunction that we also have to address, but that is there. We don't know when it will end, but one thing we know for sure, it's growing, it's becoming a new normal, right? So, it's also good to ask ourselves question. Now, what happens to a child who grows up from when that child was, like from when that child started understanding himself or herself, like she found herself with two women. She has to call one daddy, she has to call the other mommy, but they're two. In that case, they're lesbians, right? There's another one who also came and found a situation where there's mother, there are two women, but again, the women are bisexual. So again, there's another involvement. Bisexual means you're attracted to both men and women. So this kid is confused. Do I love men? Do I love women? What do I even have to love? You get. And there's the one who finds the couple that is fluid. Today I feel like being in love with men. Tomorrow I feel like being in love with women. Whatever. You don't know the other day what will you have. Like there are just so many terms that are just complicated, right? And then there's this kid who grows up with two men in the house. So one is the father, the other one is mommy. And then, the weird thing is that this kid will have to go to school, right? Of course, not unless the kid is homeschooling. If you're going out there to the school or in the natural world, in one way or the other, this kid will have to interact with other kids who have a mother and a father biologically, the mother being a woman and the father being a man. So this kid is trying to understand the dynamics. My mother is a man, my father is a man. How come your mother is a woman and your father is a man? So how does this child grow? What is life to this kid? How will this kid even face life? So in future, suppose this kid wants to date. Is he supposed to love men? Is he supposed to date women? You get my point. It's a whole lot of drama happening in there. We also have to pray, and we just have to have discernment, and it's just a lot. And it's good to understand that, by the way, you who is raising a child as a single mom as a single father rather, or as a complete family mother, father, and kids, they will in one way or the other interact with these other kids. What happens? And it's a global thing that is increasing, like the rate at which this thing is growing is very alarming. Tell me your thoughts. What do you think about it? So guys, do you know there are these ladies who set up men in this sense? So a guy thinks that he's in love with this woman, and he thinks that probably they are dating or they're in something serious. But this woman secretively, she secretly knows she doesn't want anything to do with this man, but the guy doesn't know. The lady knows she's on business. She wants the seed. She wants to get pregnant. Probably she's financially stable, or she's just not into this marriage thingy, but she wants a kid. So what's the best thing to do? Get into a relationship. But now the guy is very happy or very sure that he's in a relationship, not knowing that this lady is on business. And when the lady gets pregnant, this guy wants to be present, like wholeheartedly, because all along he thought he was in a relationship. But this lady knows she wants nothing to do with the guy. And at the end of the day, this guy gets devastated and confused again. Because I thought we had something that would stand the test of times, and all those things. What's now this that you're now living, this thing that you want nothing to do with me, because the guy is willingly ready, and the guy wants to be there, to be fully present in the life of the child, but the lady doesn't want him because she knows she doesn't want a man. You understand? Like, there are these types of ladies in our society that just want kids of their own, but they don't want anything to do with men. Like, they don't even want a relationship or any commitment at all. Now, having said that, we also have to give flowers out there. So there are these types of single, I wouldn't call them single fathers, but let me call them baby daddies, right? Who are present in the lives of their kids. You know, being a baby daddy comes with a lot of pressure, but they choose to fight wholeheartedly without being forced. They choose to fully pay any expense that kid needs. They choose to pay school fees. They choose to be present for that kid wholeheartedly. Man, take your flowers. It's not easy, because you can choose the easier way out, just leave the mother and the kid and live, but the good thing, you guys choose to fight, you choose to be present, and you choose to let your kid know that no matter what, daddy is always here. And now we have the others that maybe life doesn't always work out, because you can be in a relationship, it doesn't work out, and you get a kid and you choose to be fully involved. No drama, no nonsense, just you and the kid, like just you present for your son or your daughter. Now, sometimes, even in marriage, it doesn't all end in the part that we say till death do us part. Divorce comes in, especially in our current, in our current world, divorce rates are so high. But I would love to congratulate the men that even after the divorce has happened and the marriage thing has not worked between the two of you, for whatever reasons, best known to the two of you, like you choose to put the differences aside and focus on your kids and make sure that your kids will have a healthy life and have a healthy family, have a beautiful relationship with their mother as well as their father fully, right? It's an amazing thing that you guys are doing, and kudos. Now let's talk about these types of baby daddies who choose for some weird reason to be extremely dramatic over a lot of nothing. So we have these baby daddies who, for instance, you know clearly the relationship between you and your baby mama didn't work out, but now you just choose to be a thorn in her flesh. Because life happens. She will want to move on and have a partner, right? But now you choose to make it your personal business to make sure she will never know peace. This meme that people always love using that says, I don't want peace, I want trouble. So you choose to be that weapon fashioned against her. So when she wants to move on, and even vice versa to the ladies as well, it's not just the men, because even the ladies' way, it's another drama. You choose to be dramatic. So now this person wants to move out and then to move on with her life or with his life, and then you're here. I want my child. What about my child? All of a sudden now we have lawsuits. All of a sudden drama. Man, I don't know, but it needs to stop. I don't know whether it will ever stop, by the way. And now we have the other ones who I don't know how to call them. They're chronic liars. So this is what they do. They'll promise something, like they call their kids and promise to buy them something. And when the date is due, they won't show up, they won't buy anything. For instance, someone will call his son and say, oh, because of course, you're not in his mother's life. So you're like, what, I'll come for your birthday, I'll buy you this and that, I'll buy you this toy. And the boy is so excited. And you don't show up. And that day you're called, you're offline, your line is off. Why? And then there are those who choose. Again, the child wants to talk to you. They'll call you, you won't pick. Text you, you won't reply. And now the kid is left disturbing the mother Because the kid wants to talk to the father. And now the mother is like, do I lie? Do I tell the truth? Because maybe genuinely also the mother wants the child to have a relationship with their father. But for some weird reason, you choose to be just dramatic. Man, it's just a whole other issue. But anyway, let's move on to our next type of fathers. There are fathers who are very scary, right? I don't know, but most of the young people and most of our Africa, in most cases, the African setting, we've grown up with fathers, a large percentage, not all of them, but we've grown up with fathers whom you could not approach and have a simple conversation with, or even ask questions. You get my point? Like, he comes home. If you are watching something, you have to switch it off. It doesn't matter. If he's coming, just hear him coming, you just have to switch it off, or at least turn whatever, put news or something. Whether you were just seated relaxing, you had done your homework, you had just done everything correct, like perfectly. You now start being a busybody. You have to go sit down, start pretending to be reading, and your mind is understanding a lot of nothing, but just because you cannot stand there and do a lot of, or sit down with your father just like that. I mean, how many have been hugged by their fathers? Just how many? Very few, right? So the father is so, when he just speaks, you feel like you want the world to just open up and swallow you. When you hear your father is calling you, automatically you're thinking, what did I do? Because you're not sure what is he calling you for. You automatically think, I have done something wrong. And the scolding won't end well. You get. So we have those types of scary fathers. That man, even right now, you're now grown up, when you see the phone call, you're like, not again. Hey, this guy again. And you're already grown up, but his phone call still scares you till today. Yeah. So, there's something funny. I don't know whether it's funny or it's ironical. Do you know you can grow in the same household with the same father, probably at the same time, or not necessarily at the same time, but with the same biological father, but experience different versions of your father? Do you know that? This is what I mean. For instance, for a firstborn, there are these types of firstborns who enjoy their fathers because, one, the father got you, I'm speaking about in a marriage setup. So your father got you when, with your mother, when they were just happily and young in marriage. He's very energetic, he's willing to provide, he wants to be there for his family, he wants to make sure everything is perfect. So you get to enjoy that aspect of your father as a firstborn. Now I'm giving an example between a firstborn and a lastborn. And then there's this lastborn again, who might come when the father is already tired. Man, you came when your father has already figured it out. He's not even that, probably there are other kids in between you and the firstborn. He has already raised kids, like he's just tired. He's not even there for you. You might get whatever you want, yes, but he will never be present. Let me give you an example. So there's an instance where a firstborn growing up, the father is trying to climb up the ladder of his career. So this firstborn might not experience the best of his father, of his or her father, right? Because the father is always busy working. And again, if she asks for something, probably the money is not enough because, they're trying to figure it out, right? But now there's this lastborn who comes when the father has already climbed that ladder, he's financially stable. When he coughs, he will be asked, what do you want? When he smiles, like anything he wants, if he says he wants a phone, he will be asked what time. Now this is again difficult because you see, if you as a firstborn growing up, you always learned to manage what is there, because you know your father is trying to figure it out in life, and now your last born brother or sister gets anything she wants, and even when she does mistakes, she gets away with it. Probably there might be a rivalry. You might even end up hating her, not because she is bad, but because of whatever thing that your parents have shown you. Because you're like, me when I wanted anything, there was no money for me, and now when this last born wants anything, there's money for me. There's money for her. I'm sorry. And now the last instance about this experiencing different versions of your father, or of a father, but still in the same family setup, right? So do you know these instances when biologically, like for instance, your mom hits menopause, and then you know they're like, we know we cannot get a child, and boom, a child comes. So this child comes when already probably they're already tired. They didn't even plan for the kid. Again, they don't even have time for that kid. And of course, as the kid grows, they are aging, remember. So this will force you to step up as the father or as the mother of that kid, because your mother is already old. And again, even for this kid, they'll never get to enjoy their parents, because already their parents are already tired. They're already old. They're already tired of life. They're not even that energetic to raise you. So you will either grow up feeling lonely with them, but at least feeling lonely, or become that child that brings joy at old age, or you're forced to grow being raised by your elder siblings. It's important to note that in our current society, things are slowly shifting. Whatever used to be normal is no longer normal. So we have the LGBTQ plus movement. So we have the transgenders. I don't know whether you know the transgenders, but that means I'm a female, I undergo surgery and become a man. Get my point? Exactly. And this is a huge topic, by the way. We will cover it in a different episode, because we also have situations where a child is born a female, and then she is administered to some hormones, like some hormone altering whatever medications that will change her to be a man. A different topic, don't worry, we will explain later. And then we have the lesbians, which involves two ladies, and then these ladies get pregnant. It sounds funny, but this is how it might happen. Because one, nowadays you can get a sperm donor, right? Or you can even buy sperms, right? If you just want the pregnancy. And we also have the gays, two men. So the reason why I'm saying this is because we know in a normal situation, we know a man and a man can't naturally give birth. And we know a woman and a woman, naturally, they can't give birth, right? According even to the order of culture and even the Bible, right? And even more religions out there. But again, things are shifting. You can get a surgery, you can be done a surgery, and you can have a womb if you're a man, or especially if you're a man and you want to carry your baby. Science has you covered, technology has you. Again, there's surrogacy. So you can pay someone, you donate your seed, and they'll carry a child for you. When they give birth, they'll give you the child. And there are some machines that are coming that will be able to manufacture kids in the laboratory labs, and they'll be able to keep, like you see the normal process that a woman biologically goes through to bring forth a kid to the world. The machines will be able to do that. And we also have robots. They are coming, they're already here, and they're already, some are functioning already, doing that job of carrying a baby. And also with the technology that is advancing, like day by day, they'll be able to even have more robots do more than what a normal woman can do, just normally. Like the norm of you being a woman, biologically carrying a child and bringing that child to the world, right? I know this entire thing seems complicated. We've covered this in our YouTube video, still in our YouTube channel, Paris Mueni Networks. Please go and watch. It's kind of like it's a question. It's titled, "Are we saying goodbye to the pain of childbirth?" This will make you understand the entire thing that we've just said. Now, this is an entire dysfunction that we also have to address, but that is there. We don't know when it will end, but one thing we know for sure, it's growing. It's becoming a new normal, right? So, it's also good to ask ourselves question. Now, what happens to a child who grows up from when that child was, like from when that child started understanding himself or herself, like she found herself with two women. She has to call one daddy, she has to call the other mommy, but there are two. In that case, they are lesbians, right? There's another one who also came and found a situation where there's mother, there are two women, but again, the women are bisexual. So again, there's another involvement. Bisexual means you're attracted to both men and women. So this kid is confused. Do I love men? Do I love women? What do I even have to love? You get. And there's the one who finds the couple that is fluid. Today I feel like being in love with men. Tomorrow I feel like being in love with women. Whatever. You don't know the other day what will you have. Like there are just so many terms that are just complicated, right? And then there's this kid who grows up with two men in the house. So one is the father, the other one is mommy. And then, the weird thing is that this kid will have to go to school, right? Of course, not unless the kid is homeschooling. If you're going out there to the school or in the natural world, in one way or the other, this kid will have to interact with other kids who have a mother and a father biologically, the mother being a woman and the father being a man. So this kid is trying to understand the dynamics. My mother is a man, my father is a man. How come your mother is a woman and your father is a man? So how does this child grow? What is life to this kid? How will this kid even face life? So in future, suppose this kid wants to date. Is he supposed to love men? Is he supposed to date women? You get my point. It's a whole lot of drama happening in there. We also have to pray, and we just have to have discernment, and it's just a lot. And it's good to understand that, by the way, you who is raising a child as a single mom as a single father rather, or as a complete family, mother, father, and kids, they will in one way or the other interact with these other kids. What happens? And it's a global thing that is increasing, like the rate at which this thing is growing is very alarming. As a father, it's good to leave behind a very solid foundation. Even the Bible says that a good father leaves inheritance for his children. There you go. So, in our current society, by the way, we have a lot of people, and even us, we're struggling a lot because 90% of us had fathers who didn't leave behind a very strong foundation. This is what I mean in terms of finances, in terms of connections, in terms of every other aspect of life. As the head of that house, as the priest of that house, manze, we've had to fight. Kwanza, there are those who didn't even fight the generational battles. Now you're fighting what your grandfather, generational stuff. Again, you're there, you're fighting battles financially, because even that father still expects you to send them money. And you also want someone to send you money. Now who are you supposed to go to? Because your father can't send you the money. You want money. You get my point? Exactly. So it's good as a father, leave behind a very strong foundation. Because again, fatherhood is not just about what you say, it's about what you leave behind. What legacy are you leaving behind when you're gone? Remember, you're not going to be on this earth forever. Even for those who choose to be deadbeat, by the way, karma will find you, but that's another story. But remember, you're not going to be on this earth forever. What happens when you die? What happens to that child or to those children? What happens when it's during the evening of your life and you're old, and now the family is, crumbling and stuff like that? So it's very important. And it's not just in terms of finances, also in terms of values. Are you that person that you can look up to as a father? Are you that person that your daughter or your son can look up to? Or you're that person that, my father is a drunkard, I don't want to hear him call me. A story is given of two men raised by the same father. So their father was a very great drunkard. He would drink and sleep, and like he would drink aokoto kwa mtaro. So when they grew up, one became extremely successful and the other one became a drunkard like his father. And then one day a reporter came and asked, he started with the rich one. Why did you become this rich? He said, what do you expect with the kind of father that I grew up with? Then the reporter went again to the other one, the drunkard one. He was like, why did you turn out this way? I mean, your brother is very successful, you're a drunkard. He said, what do you expect with the kind of father I grew up with? So you as a father, what legacy are you leaving? What values are you leaving behind? What are you impacting in your kids? Are you that person that they look up to? Or are you that person that they want to never ever become? By the way, if your daughter was to get married today, would you want her to marry a man exactly like you? Would you want that? Are you that good that you would even be proud? You say, if my daughter got a guy who is like me, I'm good to go. You get my point? Another topic, because it's a whole chaotic thing, but it's very important. Please leave behind a very solid foundation. Leave your house in order. And for the baby daddies who are out there, do something for your kids. They might not remember, they might not know it now, but let the future speak that, you know what, my daddy did something for me. What are you doing? What are you building for them? Are we together? Thank you. So guys, we've come to the end of this session. I know, I feel like we've not even done the whole topic completely, because there's just a lot to dig into. But I hope that with the little and maybe much that we've shared, you've gotten something to take home, you've learned something, and you've enjoyed our session, right? And if there's something you feel like we've left out, let's talk in the comment section, right? By the way, what's that one thing that your father said or did to you that you remember him for? What's that thing that he did, by the way, that you're like, oh, I'm so glad that my father did that. And again, if your father didn't do anything, it's okay. It's done. He's gone, or he's never going to be in your life again. Don't let it be a bother. Let bygones be bygones. Focus on the future. And sometimes as men, because already the society is hard on you, you have the emotional pressure, the financial pressure, the pressure to become, the pressure to provide, the pressure to lead, the pressure to figure it out, because the entire burden of the family is up to you. I'm talking about the present fathers. Sometimes you struggle and feel like, am I enough? Are my efforts even seen? I want you to know that you're enough, and what you're doing is awesome. God trusted you with that responsibility. Just give it your best. You know, to the fathers to the young people out there who are aspiring to be fathers, and to the ones who are fathers, you're not yet a father, but you're in the process of becoming one. Probably your partner is pregnant. Congratulations, by the way. And give it your best. Remember one thing. By the way, kids don't understand the value of what you buy for them, especially when they are young. But they value the quality of time that you spend with them. Not quantity, quality. Because you can have the entire day in the house with them, but you're on your phone. You're busy on TikTok or Instagram. You see, you've not spent any time with them. But that quality time, they'll remember. You see, that time you played together, that time you cooked together, that time you went for a walk, that time you went for a drive, that time you went for a game, that time you watched football, that time you watched your favorite show together, that time you came home and just hugged them and affirmed them. They will always remember. At the moment, it might not seem like it counts, but in future, they will totally bank on that. With that said, we are grateful for having you in the PMN family. Thank you for sticking around up to this far. My name remains to be Paris Mueni. And please remember to interact with us on the comment section. Tell us what you've learned today. Tell us what's your take home. Also, tell us what you would like. If you feel there's something you'd like us to talk about, bring it home. Just text us. Let me give you our social media handles and how to connect with us. So on WhatsApp, takata hapo tu nisonge. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So on YouTube, it's Paris Mueni Networks. Please don't just write Paris Mueni. Where when you just write Paris Mueni, you will get other things that will shock you. Just please make sure the networks is there so that you get us exclusively. Yeah. Anywho, Paris Mueni Networks on YouTube, and on Instagram, Paris Mueni Networks as well. On TikTok, it's the PMN Duo, and on Facebook, it's the PMN Duo as well. So thank you for sticking around. See you on the next episode. This one is a mystery. We are not saying it here. Just be on the lookout. Yeah.